Today I'm covering my biggest investment ever. Without a doubt, this is the thing that I've invested more into than anything else in my life. And this particular investment has carried me further and created more success than anything else I could ever have imagined. Today, I'm going to be telling you about my investment in myself and my career and how it's helped me create industry-leading products, one of which begins its launch today, right now, as we speak. In many ways, today is a culmination of years and years of work. And at the same time, it's really just the beginning of something brand new, something extremely exciting. So today I'm going to take you through this entire process that has not only helped me achieve wild success beyond my wildest dreams here in crypto land, but there are lessons in it that I believe are applicable to everyone. And we're going to go through the project that I've spent the vast majority of the last 4 years working on, and something I am extremely proud to show to you all. Today, let's go deep and explain how I've built an industry-leading gaming ecosystem years before anyone really acknowledged the Metaverse as a real industry, and why this investment into myself, this investment into this project, is something that I believe everyone can learn just a little bit from, and potentially it helps you on your journey. Now, I want to make this video and this journey that we're about to go on even more special. So we're going to be giving away $1,000 to one person who comments below their favorite part of the video. So tell us what your favorite part of this Impostors project is in the comment section below, and we'll give out one lucky person $1,000 in Ethereum. I also want to clarify that throughout this video, I'm talking about my greatest investment, which is the investment of my time in myself in building a product that I believe will impact the world in a positive way. All NFTs are inherently speculative, of course, so you need to do your own research and make your own decisions as to whether or not this particular NFT is right for you. I want to be also clear that even if you can't get into this Genesis mint, there will be other mints down the line that will be cheaper, very accessible. So don't freak out. Impostors is a very long-term project. Again, one lucky winner will win $1,000 for commenting their favorite part of this video in the comment section below. Now back to the video. The year was 2018. I'd been in crypto for 1 year. I had made more money and lost more money in that year than I ever thought imaginable in my young career. Now, as you can see, Bitcoin price had slid from its peak of $20,000, and it was sitting at about $7,000, $6,000 in June. This was about the time that my business partner and I, my co-founder and I, David Murray, started racking our brains, trying to figure out why was everyone just leaving crypto? Why was the number going down? Wasn't it so obvious, the revolution that was Bitcoin, that was blockchain? We had seen the promise of projects like Ethereum, projects like EOS and Tron who wanted to replace Ethereum. We even saw decentralized versions of social media. We saw all this promise, and yet people were still running away from crypto like it was the plague. It was in this moment that I decided to dedicate myself to building a product that could hold users and continue to grow regardless of the state of Bitcoin, regardless of whether it was a bull market or a bear market. It was at this time that I decided to make my biggest investment of all time, an investment that has taken 4 years before it properly matured. But the journey along the way has been one that has been more special, more filled with twists and turns and learnings and growth than I could have ever imagined. You see, since that day, every single day, I've worked my butt off here in crypto, and there were many long, hard years between the middle part of 2018, when I had already been making daily YouTube videos for almost 6 months, and of course today, nearly 4 years later. Most of the early days was filled with doom and gloom. There wasn't much to look forward to. In fact, during this entire run-up of Bitcoin in 2019, altcoins barely budged. There wasn't any altcoin season. There was no evidence of life here, that there would be any kind of innovation projects that were supported in crypto land. People wondered whether an altcoin season would ever come again. But we kept working because we believed strongly that one good product, one good video game could change everything in crypto land. And it was that promise, that dream that we invested ourselves into. The passion and the commitment that we had to this dream, to this vision, is what carried us through all of the tough times. And it's also been the reason why I've been able to keep my head above water and make great decisions about content all along the way. It's the reason why I said no to so many deals, to so many offers for people who wanted to partner, to sponsor, to in any way involve themselves with this content if I wasn't sure that it would advance me and this community closer to the mission of publishing an industry-leading game. Building video games is no joke. It requires the combination of all kinds of artists, developers, engineers, management, strategy, and planning. And in the end, just because you get through it doesn't mean that the end product is going to be something that people even want to play. Building video games is extremely hard. And so it should come as no surprise that the first video game we tried to build didn't end up being the ultimate success story here. In fact, after 2 years of building a video game, at the beginning of 2020, we made the painful decision to throw an entire video game away because we were convinced that it did not have what it took to go mainstream. And that's when we started planning Impostors. Now, the reason why we targeted Impostors as a game style was because we were sure that we could build something in Unreal Engine based on the experience that we had over the prior 2 years. We were confident that we could build something that was very exciting within the new explosive genre of social deduction. This purposeful passion allowed our team to overcome all kinds of obstacles. The fact that we had not nearly as much funding as other teams, the fact that we weren't industry veterans like other teams. These things could have easily caused a stop to the show, but the fact is that we had such a strong investment, already years of blood, sweat, and tears poured into coding an Unreal Engine and building an amazing community that we were excited to introduce to something that could move crypto from where it is to the next phase of adoption. Because we all know that Web3 is coming. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when amazing products come. They appeal to normal mainstream users and they cross the chasm. And that is literally the entire mission of Impostors, a game that has been in production since 2020 with dozens of world-class engineers, artists, and talented folks across the globe. But I want to take a second and acknowledge this because some of you might not be following the full story. Some of you might have just seen the initial Impostors reveal, which was wrought with controversy because we had planned a fun rollout where we rolled out a teaser, then documentation, then artwork, then gameplay. But people assumed that this teaser that we had right here was going to be the only piece of content that we ever showed. The reality is that this was only ever meant to be an appetizer to an incredible smorgasbord and all-you-can-eat buffet of information, gameplay, exciting art, and more. So join me as we dive in here and explore everything that this incredible Impostors project has to offer. Now, all of this documentation is readily available on docs.impostors.dg. I encourage you to check it out. When we unveiled the meta paper, as we're calling this white paper, there was an outpouring of support for all the thought, the gamification, and the game theory that's gone into this project. But let's dive into some key points. The Impostors Metaverse is a social gaming metaverse on a mission to act as a bridge between the existing Web 2 gaming culture and the promise of Web 3 technology, to provide creators with robust tools to build and monetize original game modes and rich universes within the Impostors Metaverse, and to provide players with a fun social gaming experience that contains opportunities to earn. Now, of course, this is the hook. The gameplay that we're showing is meant to be the hook that attracts people to a powerful and well-designed metaverse. You see, I've said for years that the thing that's missing from metaverses is tight and fun gameplay loops. And that's why we built the world-class social deduction game mode that is Impostors. It's meant to attract people to the ecosystem like bees to honey. It's meant to be the core, the seed of an entirely complex metaverse, but you need to start with a strong foundation, or else building tools that no one will use doesn't advance the industry. Now, as we mentioned, the core is a social deduction mode, but people have mistakenly thought that this meant that we just knocked off Among Us. No, our gameplay is completely reimagined, with tasks being represented as a series of immersive and diverse mini-games that sit on top of a beautiful 3D Unreal Engine-powered experience with extremely high-quality art and feel. The reason why we chose social deduction is because this particular genre of game is one that has not very many competitors. It's a new genre of game that's home to over 500 million users, but it doesn't have titans like Activision and Blizzard hogging all of the air in the room. There's not a 20-year title that people have been playing like World of Warcraft and Call of Duty that is going to take a gargantuan and titanic effort to get people to stop playing those legacy games and start playing this new game. No, social deduction is a new and viral type of game style that is wildly underdeveloped, and it's ripe for the taking. And that's why we're so excited to try to attack this game genre and create the first original, innovative new blockchain gaming project. Now, again, we want to be clear that social deduction is just the first game mode. Other game modes are planned, but most importantly, there's a toolkit for user-generated content and a sandbox, allowing users to make new modified game maps and even their own game modes in the future. This is what decentralization is all about. And with proper tools for creators, this single fun game loop can end up seeding an ecosystem that could be home to hundreds or even thousands of games in the future. The sky's the limit when you turn over the keys to creation to the community. Now, again, I want to be very clear that this project is built on top of the super token ecosystem. This is a super farm project. And if the proposal is passed by decentralized governance, which we have a hunch it might be, but of course we need to go through that decentralized governance process, the super farm DAO will impose a 5% ecosystem tax on all peer-to-peer interactions across the entire metaverse. Those funds will funnel into a DAO treasury controlled by token holders. This is an extremely powerful token model that totally decentralizes the entire economy of the game, in addition to having tools for people to create their own game modes, NFTs within the game, and opportunities to earn. This is what full decentralization looks like. And while maybe some game studios might give you some NFTs in the near future, the reality is they won't be doing full tokenized models for decades. This is why the true disruption always has been and always will come from within the Web3 industry. Now we introduce the new native token to the video game, the Blood token. The game needs its own uncapped supply resource in a new token called Blood. The Blood token will be exclusively emitted to NFT holders through the Play and Earn Impostors ecosystem. This is the core, the center, the incentive for playing in the core game modes. But the reality is that Impostors has more than just core gameplay, more than just the games that will be within the UGC sandbox or the map maker. No, the Impostors Metaverse is home to multiple on-chain game modes as well. And so we welcome you to the entire Metaverse economy. First, we start with the Genesis Alien. This is the NFT mint happening right now. And tomorrow, whatever is left over from the whitelist sale will go into the public sale. That's when anyone and everyone can attempt to get their hands on a Genesis Alien. And we spared absolutely no expense while building these Genesis Alien characters. We recruited talent from Pixar and Disney to create immersive and exciting characters. And it's almost scary when I total up how much we've spent on just the art for this Genesis drop. If we want to be leaders in the entire Web3 gaming revolution, we must bring the onus upon ourselves to create products that compete not just within crypto gaming, but are things that average mainstream gamers in the Twitch culture want to get their hands on, that they want to play. That's why our Genesis art is unlike any other. And minters are not just going to get these awesome 360 videos of their character. They're not just going to get to play with their character in-game. They're also going to get an industry-leading package of media that includes this emote video, where your character will be assigned an emote on top of its entire generative appearance. Not only that, but you'll get a 360 video and an HD image. Few, if any, projects have ever tried to aspire to this level of art and this level of media delivery along with an NFT release. This is industry leading. But your Genesis characters won't just be Genesis characters. That's because they'll be participating in something called the Genesis Season, which makes them key pillars to the entire metaverse economy. And that's why, unlike any other NFT or game that I've seen, Impostors is launching with an entire series of on-chain and in-game events, starting the day the public mint finishes. This Genesis roadmap is something that we haven't seen done in crypto, and something that will keep the community excited for weeks and months after mint as the game is rolling out. 2 weeks after mint, you can begin staking your Genesis Alien to begin earning Blood token. 4 weeks after, you can use those Blood tokens to mint your UFO. What is a UFO? We'll get to that in just a second. 6 weeks after mint, you can claim your pet, and you can mint it with the Blood tokens that you're earning through staking. 8 weeks after, you'll be able to mint a materials box. 10 weeks after, a cosmetics chest. And in the penultimate event of the Genesis roadmap, you'll get your super sus closed beta access pass, where you can start playing the Impostors game for yourselves, and we can begin an entirely new NFT-based gaming revolution together. Finally, if you don't sell any of your items here, you'll be able to bundle them and create your own piece of Genesis land. Now, we've designed this metaverse economy such that land is absolutely integral to the larger metaverse economy. And more importantly, the game theory here is such that the Genesis land is not something that you can just claim and then sell the other items of the Genesis season. No, the Genesis is a bundle, a wrapper of the items within the Genesis season. And depending on which Genesis, alien, UFO, and pet you have, you'll get a different type of land that might be more rare, less rare, have your land produce a more valuable material in higher quantities or less valuable materials. All of these depend on how you play the Genesis season, how you end up rolling your various items, trading amongst yourselves, and what you're able to do when you combine those into a piece of land. Now, UFOs are very special as they get their own game mode that's outside the core gameplay, but will exist in a browser-based gameplay functionality setting. Now, UFOs can be raced against each other. They can be upgraded, crafted, and they have a series of equipable sub-NFTs, such as a wing set, an engine, thrusters, and a paint job. All of these require materials produced by land or blood tokens earned by players from the core gameplay mode. There's also going to be a spectator experience where people who are not owners or participants in the UFO race can speculate on the outcomes. Similarly, pets can be battled. They also have a series of sub-NFTs, a weapon, a shield, an aura, an ability, all of which will boost their stats and make them more effective in battle. There will also be pet evolution and a spectator experience. Again, the pet ecosystem requires copious amounts of the blood token as well as materials from land in order to be successful in battle. So of course, as you're realizing, land is one of the most important pieces of the entire Impostors Metaverse economy. And those with land will be in charge of the resources required for UFOs and pet ecosystems to be successful in their PvP combats. So you can see that each piece of the Genesis season is actually a key component to the larger metaverse economy. The materials are required for UFOs and pets, and cosmetics not only look cool in the game, but hold a small chance to increase play and earn rewards for the blood token in core gameplay. The amount of work, planning, strategy, effort, game theory, and preparation that's gone into this Genesis season is unlike any NFT drop I've seen in my career here in Web3, and I believe will be raising the bar for NFT drops near and far. Finally, it's no secret that social deduction games rose to popularity through streamers and YouTube gaming influencers. For this reason, there are few people in the world as adequately equipped to help Impostors fulfill its mission than the absolute legendary and visionary founder of Faze Clan, with over 510 million followers globally, one of the most prolific and influential online gaming culture staples. Its founder, Faze Banks, has just joined Impostors as an advisor, and Banks will be helping shape the rollout to streamers globally when it comes time for a worldwide launch. To say this positions Impostors for mainstream adoption and mainstream gaming culture crossover in a way that no other crypto game has in history is a wild understatement. This isn't a surface level partnership or just a shout out. I've spoken with Banks at length for probably over 10 hours by now, and he is extremely genuine and focused on NFTs and gaming as a bridge to one of the biggest industries of the future. He's fully aligned with our mission, and we are very, very excited to have him on board. Next, we want to take a second to talk about an amazing new team member that has just come on, who was the executive director of production at Jumpstart, which was the creator of Neopets. Daniel Prate is our new gaming development lead at the Impostors project, and I can testify that since Daniel has come on, the project has benefited tremendously from his incredible wisdom and leadership skills. He's an amazing asset to have, and just the start of our mainstream gaming hiring spree. Now, seeing is believing, and at long last, it's time that we show you our alpha gameplay. Now, the cool thing about this alpha gameplay is how the game has looked for the vast majority of 2021. However, at the end of 2021, the beginning of 2022, we expanded our development resources to be about 5 times what we were spending on any average month in 2021. The vast majority of that is going to cosmetic upgrades, like our incredible Genesis alien that we had done by modelers that work with Pixar and Disney. We're leaving no stone unturned in bringing visual quality to this particular project. But even before we started shooting off the big guns of financing to bring even more visual quality to the game, we had a game that was seriously fun, and having our team members and alpha testers coming back begging for more play sessions. So now I introduce to you the alpha gameplay for Impostors that has completely reimagined what a social deduction game is in Unreal Engine, where tasks are now a series of immersive and expandable minigames. There's world-class UI and an immersive world for this game style that is desperately needed. The response to the alpha gameplay was overwhelming. It was so positive, and after the rocky start to the announcement of the project, this has been one of the most uplifting and celebratory weeks of my entire life, because I realize now that everyone understands just how important the project that we've been working on is, just why I've invested so many years of my life into this particular goal. But we didn't stop there. We actually even pushed the rock forward on gas optimizations. We were inspired by Azuki's ERC-721A implementation, so we managed to add even more gas optimizations to the ERC-721 contract. Of course, as the market has decided to flip bullish just in the last few hours, gas again is going to be a challenge. So anything that we can save our minters on gas is a good thing. To this effect, we're updating owner balances all at once in batch to save the gas otherwise accrued by multiple storage operations. We're maintaining a sparse mapping of token owner balances to make mints as cheap as possible. Shout out to Azuki for first popularizing this. Removing on-chain enumerations of items and unnecessary contract information to reduce deployment costs, reducing the bytecode of the deployment by switching entirely to a system of reverting on Solidity 0.8 errors instead of using any reversion string messages. And we had so much fun optimizing our contract that we even renamed the mint function to mint_QGO. Yes, that actually saves on gas. So my biggest investment in history is without a doubt investing myself in a singular goal: to make a game that can cross the chasm into mainstream users, to make a game that's simply fun for the sake of being fun, that has a realistic path to market, that's an ideal environment for personal expression and the use of NFTs. And in the process, I've learned and grown more as a human than you could ever imagine. The knowledge that I'm building this product for this community forced me to be the best possible community leader, to create the best content I could create, to constantly learn and grow my understanding of this Web3 industry, to always push myself that little bit further. And I might not otherwise have done that if not for this mission, this investment, that each day I doubled down and continued to push the rock as hard as I could. That investment grew and grew and grew. And now we're at the brink of releasing something truly special that the blockchain industry has needed for so long. The project now has uproarious support. Of course, if you're holding any EllioTrades NFT, if you're holding any Superfarm Genesis NFT, except for the Falcon and Jazz, you'll be on the whitelist to mint. We did our best to get whitelists out to a wide variety of people who have been long-term supporters of the project. But of course, if you're not on the whitelist, tomorrow the public mint begins. And of course, this is not the end of the project. It's just the beginning of the project. The point of this project is that it's not just a flash in the pan. The point of this project is that it's based around a product-first ecosystem, a gameplay-first experience that has the chance to penetrate the mainstream gaming culture, which I believe is the most important challenge for any crypto project in the world. Without a doubt, the investment of myself in building Impostors, in building a game like this, has made me evolve tremendously as a human, has helped me get ahead of some of the biggest opportunities in the crypto space, has forced me to remain a student, and in doing so, I've become more masterful and more astute in crypto than I ever thought possible. It's driven me to make content and build this amazing community. All of these processes are part of the investment that has taken me further in life than I could ever imagine. And I believe this is a story that has quite a few obvious learnings, that when you believe something is the future, that when you are fully convinced that something is the right way to live your life, no matter how hard it might be, no matter how many distractions come in the way, no matter how much longer it takes you than you originally thought it would, the reality is by pushing through, by living life the way you are convinced you should, by overcoming these obstacles, you can reach newer and higher heights. I believe that Impostors and the mission it has embodies everything that the cryptocurrency markets are looking for. If you want to follow the project, stay up to date, make sure you follow Play Impostors on Twitter. The link is in the description. As well, if you'd like to join the project, the mint is live now for whitelisters as mentioned, and the public mint goes live tomorrow. And while this is a huge moment in my own personal career, in the life cycle of the Superfarm project, in the growth of crypto gaming as a whole, I do believe this is just the beginning, just the start of an entirely new part of the mission, a new part of the investment. And I'm extremely excited to share it with you. I hope you guys enjoyed learning more about imposters, about what I've been doing, about why I'm so driven, why I believe so strongly in the future that I believe in. I'm not always right, and who knows, I might not be right. But the reality is that I've worked each and every day for 4 years to make this happen. The team is growing rapidly and has some of the smartest people that I've ever worked with on it. I'm extremely proud of where the journey has taken me, the person I've become, and the work I've done. And I encourage you all to find your own mission, your own purpose, because no one knows how far that could possibly take you. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like the video. My name's EllioTrades. You can find me on Twitter at EllioTrades, and I'll see you very soon on the next episode.